Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video. In this video, I would like to discuss a little bit more about template-based cooking and how you apply it. Recently, a viewer asked me how to make an orange chicken, and he would like to get a recipe. And I told him that I do not have a recipe, but I can provide him with the basic guideline how to make an orange chicken based on some of the templates that I have talked about in the past. So this is the purpose and goal of this video. Now there are many different ways to create orange chicken, but in this particular approach, I'm going to use an orange marmalade. I got this orange marmalade from the Aldi supermarket, which you can find in many different places. The nice thing about using the orange marmalade is that, first of all, it is relatively inexpensive. And secondly, is that you can really control how much you want to put into it to create the flavor that you want. Now, to enhance the flavor of the orange chicken, one thing that I include is pineapple, which is excellent for that purpose. And I also include some cherry tomatoes. Both of this will greatly enhance the flavor of the dish. For this dish, I'm going to use chicken thigh. This will expose you to a different cut of chicken. Now, obviously, there are three commonly used cuts of chicken. That's chicken breast, chicken thigh, and chicken tenderloin. Now, the preparation is essentially the same. And the chicken thigh that I purchased is the one that is boneless and skinless. So you basically cut it up in the same way as you do with chicken breast or with chicken tender. And the nice thing about this template is that you can prepare all the chicken in advance, and so that you will have them anytime you would like. And this really makes it much simpler. And the end result is that it will greatly enhance your ability to use chicken anytime. And I know chicken is very popular among most people who do home cooking, and this will be a great way to achieve this. I'm going to start out with some cornstarch to marinate the chicken. And I call this dry marinating. And this is actually the same method that I have demonstrated in other video. This is probably the best method for frying chicken and followed by stir frying. It's really a combination method which combines shallow frying and stir frying. I also added my basic seasoning mix to enhance the umami flavor. This is followed by addition of some sugar. Now all of these three ingredients will help to make the chicken taste better and also create what I will call wok chi, because it will cause the chicken to char. And the charring make the chicken have that smoky flavor, which really only can be achieved through stir frying. No other method will allow you to create this type of combination that will combine the shallow frying and stir frying all in the same wok. To cook this dish, I'm going to use my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok, which is the wok that I use for everyday purpose. And this wok is very simple to maintain and it's easy to use. And one of the advantages of this wok is that it is readily to be seasoned. I use a method called spot seasoning, which is very simple. And basically, you heat up the cooking oil to its smoking point. And the cooking oil that I use is canola oil. All you have to do is to use the cooking oil with a high smoking point. Once you reach the smoking point, you let it to smoke for about 15 seconds. And this is the time when the wok is seasoned, then you are ready to cook. And the method that I use to cook the chicken is a combination method. It's combined stir frying and shallow frying. The first step in cooking the chicken is shallow frying. Basically, you lay out the chicken on a flat surface of the wok. And this is why this Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok is such an excellent wok, because it has a large flat surface area. In fact, it is the size of a small frying pan. So the end result is that it can double as a frying pan. When you lay out the chicken, basically you let the chicken to fry on one side first. Now the method is great because of the high heat produced during the cooking process. It causes the chicken to char. Now if you stir fry it, you will never achieve this texture. In this method, because you allow the chicken to basically fry for a longer period of time, this will cause the underside of the chicken start to, first of all, forming a crispy texture because of the coating of the cornstarch. And more importantly is that it allows the chicken to char, and the sugar will cause caramelization. All of this will enhance the flavor of the chicken. One disadvantage of this method is that it does cause splattering. So you want to control the heat. If the heat is too high, you might have a lot of splattering because the chicken contains moisture. So it is probably important for you to manage the heat properly. The other approach is that to put a splash guard over it so you can prevent the splattering to go into your kitchen counter as well as on top of your stove. But as you notice that in here, the side of the chicken that has been fried, it really creates a nice coloration, and the browning as well as the charring make the chicken taste great. And this method actually works really well with the chicken thigh because chicken thigh contain more fat than chicken breast. So the end result is that you will create more charring of the fat, and that leads to better flavor. And because of this reason, a lot of people prefer chicken thigh for stir frying because they keep the chicken more moist and tender. Now, quite often when people talk about what is wok chi, which actually is the charring of the food ingredients that create that smoky flavor. And next, I add some fresh pineapples. I prefer fresh pineapples over canned pineapples because fresh pineapple has better flavor. And pineapple is perfect for this dish to create that orange flavor. For any dish, the contrasting appearance of the dish is really important. We have the nice yellow color of the pineapple by adding some tomatoes, in this case cherry tomatoes that I have sliced in half. It greatly enhances the overall aesthetic appearance of this dish. Like as they said, a good looking dish is most likely to be a great tasting dish. Okay, now the dish is pretty much done. I turn off the heat and then I start to flavor the dish. First of all, I start to add the orange marmalade. Now I use an electric stove, so even I turn off the heat, there are still residual heat provided by the stove. This actually is just enough for me to help everything to cook together. Now, if you use a gas stove, you might want to leave it at low, but it's pretty much up to you. You can decide what is the best way to achieve the type of heat level that you want. Now, next step is that I'm going to provide a umami as well as salty flavor to the dish. I'm going to use oyster sauce. And of course, you can use soy sauce as well. But the oyster sauce will actually work better because the oyster sauce contains cornstarch. So you can create an instant sauce as you can see in here. The consistency of the sauce in this dish is really critical because you want the sauce to be thick enough that we're able to coat all the ingredients, because this is where you're going to get the intensity of the ingredients that you are looking for. After I doing a quick taste test, I decided that I like to have this sauce a little bit thicker. To increase the thickness of the sauce, I'm going to add a bit cornstarch. The best way to add the cornstarch is to sprinkle them directly over the food ingredients. Now, if you add the cornstarch in a big chunk, then you will have problem because the cornstarch will form lumps. But if you sprinkle them, as you can see, the cornstarch dissolve into the sauce very rapidly and seamlessly, and the end result is that you have a much thicker sauce. With a few quick stir, the fish is done. The dish is very fast to cook. The total cook time is probably only about 6 to 7 minutes. This dish is great when you serve it with rice. It provides an interesting contrast of the sweetness of the dish together with the blandness of the rice. And the result is that it gives you a great culinary experience. I want to mention is that this dish is basically an extension of all the things that you have learned up to this point. For example, you have learned how to stir fry. You have learned how to create the type of sauce that you are looking for. But you also know how to create the texture on the chicken by using the dry marinating, as well as using shallow frying to create the charness, as well as the caramelization on the surface of chicken that will give the chicken a great flavor. And the texture of the chicken probably is the best when you cook it in this method. But furthermore, now you have experimented with chicken thighs. You can compare that to chicken breast that you also have used in the past. I always find that garnishing a dish is a great way to enhance the appearance of a dish. And in this case, I'm going to garnish it with some sesame seed, which is really versatile. You can use the sesame seed in almost any type of dishes that you want. And I always have some on hand. And I have a combination of the both black and white sesame seed to make it more interesting. For the rice, I'm going to garnish it a touch with some scallion. Scallions will bring really freshness to the rice, and so having some scallions on hand is also a great convenience. So this dish is truly a dish that based on some of the things that you already learned and using the techniques that you have obtained and have mastered over the past several lessons, you can easily to create this dish. But the beauty of this dish is it's very flexible because you can make a lot of adjustments depending on how you like it, both in flavor as well as in the ingredients to include. And this is the goal of my YouTube channel, to help you to make home cooking spontaneous and intuitive using the fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. If you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.